Hey friends, thank you so much for joining me for today's video. Hopping right on into today's content. Today's content is going to be fun, just a nice little casual hangout, man. And I can't wait to dive on in because we're going to be talking about guitar and gear, and that's always a fun thing, right? As always, man, if you're brand new to my channel, be sure to subscribe. Thank you guys so much in advance. Kind of a weird video to find me, but hey, if you found me, that's awesome nonetheless, right? So just thank you so much in advance, and thank you to everybody who tunes back in. Love you guys. What's up, man? Thanks for hanging out again, all right? Let's get on into it. Let's talk about the rig that I used for this last little spring 2023 little Midwest East Coast tour that I was on. I brought some friends with me. This right here is the brand new Kiesel A2. This guitar has been on my channel quite frequently already, and it's brand new, and you know, you guys have seen it a lot, but this was my main guitar. This is the guitar I used predominantly throughout the entire tour. Yeah, man, it just sounded great. It's just gnarly sounding. I just love it so much. I was playing with a band called Monochromatic Black, just filling in as a hired gun. It sounds so official if I say it like that, you know what I mean? But in all seriousness, they play in drop A predominantly, and obviously that's what this guitar is tuned to. And it was just so much fun to play, a Kiesel and tour with a Kiesel. This thing's super rad, dude, and yeah, I just love it. I really sincerely do. This guitar's got a bunch of dings and just wear marks already on it, and it's just super awesome. Anytime a guitar can take on the characteristics of the player, I think that's, you know, something really magical and special, and you know, you become a little bit more attached to the instrument when that happens. So yeah, man, this orange burst is taking on my characteristics and starting to get some, you know, some nice relic on it already. I can't wait to take it back out on the road in some form or fashion and just continue to, you know, break it in a little bit more. Let's set him down. Now this guitar, this is the other guitar that I took on tour. I played this guitar not as much as the Kiesel, but I played it quite a lot. Honestly, I played it when Rob Scowen actually came to the show. This is the guitar that I used for the set out in Chicago. But yeah, man, this is a Vola 7-string, a Vola Oz, and this guitar is just super sick, you know? The main thing I love about this guitar is the, like, irony of this guitar. It's a shell pink guitar, and it kind of looks like from the 50s or something like that, you know what I mean? It doesn't really look like a metal guitar, but it rips and it screams and it just plays amazingly. So all that encompassing made me really, really love this guitar. And similar to the Kiesel that I was just talking about, can't wait to play it and break it in and just continue to make it mine, you know? So those are the guitars that I used out on tour. Next up, let's go and talk about my pedal board. Now this will be very familiar territory for you guys. This is this was my pedal board. Very, very simple, stripped down. Boss tuner. I've had this thing on my board ever since I got it. I don't know, maybe 2020, 2021, something like that. Any gig I've ever played ever since I've had a YouTube channel, this has been my tuner. It's just tried and true. I love Boss products. They don't break. They're affordable. And they're readily available, and they're always in stock at some sort of retailer or store, right? So I love all pedals, like, you know, don't get it twisted. Pedals are sick and from any make or model, but something about Boss products, man, I don't know, it was just like kind of the first pedals I ever personally got, and so like I always just kind of gravitate towards them a little bit. Next up, we have the limited edition Boss SD1, just honestly one of the most cliche and or generic overdrives that you could ever have on your board, but it just does the job, man. It just works, and again, similar to what I was saying about Boss products in general, they're very reliable. You can beat the hell out of them and they just don't break really. So I don't know if it was like a peace of mind thing or what, but just I went with Boss products predominantly for this run. And then last but not least, we got the old mighty mini Fort and Zool. Ever since I got this thing in, I think 2021 maybe, give or take, it's been on my board ever since. I haven't used any other noise gate ever. I mean, I just love that thing so much. It doesn't take up any space, and it does the job. Fortin's an amazing company, and I love Fortin products, so, you know, it makes sense, right? And last but not least, we have my Torpedo Cab M Plus pedal. I never used this thing. I just had it here just in case. For whatever reason, if I ever needed to use it, it was here out on the road, just in case there was ever a specific scenario where I could use it or wanted to use it or needed to use it, I guess. Basically, if you're unfamiliar, it's an IR loader. It's not a load box or anything like that. And how it works with real amplifiers, this is kind of like a middleman. You put this after your amplifier, before your speaker cabinet, and then you can take a IR and run it to front of house. So it's a more cleaner signal. You don't have to worry about miking or anything like that. But you still need some sort of speaker load, like a real cabinet as well, to run this. It's not a load box, like I said. But it was just here, you know, kind of on vacation. I never had to use it. So that's my tried and true pedal board. I've used that pedal board a lot. And yeah, pretty generic, right? Next up, we have my amplifier, and I was using this 2-channel Marshall JVM 50-watt head. Oh my goodness, am I kicking myself for not using Marshall products sooner in my life. I always thought Marshalls were kind of like the JCM 800, kind of like I don't know, like hard rock, 80s rock, stuff like that. I never really thought they could do the tight 7-string drop A metal, but boy was I wrong. This thing sounded absolutely amazing. Built like a tank, heavy as hell for a little 50 watt amplifier head. But man, it just rips. Like, I was just blown away, and I'm kind of like nervous because like I don't think many people like really play JVMs, and I feel like the more I talk about them, the more they'll become like more desirable. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like I wish I could keep it a hush hush type of secret, but I just love them so much. They're just so awesome. And I was only on channel 2 on the red mode and just let it rip. I'll show you guys my amp settings, and what an amazing sound. Rock solid, never failed, never faltered, never sounded weird from room to room, night to night. It was just perfect all the way through, and it was great, man. It was a joy to play. And last but not least, the speaker cabinets that I was using that were mic'd every single night and on stage for stage volumes were these Omega cabs, man. Shout out to a band called Infurious. They were the headliners that we were touring with predominantly throughout the Midwest, as they're from Dayton, Ohio. They're awesome musicians and awesome people, and they're backlining the whole tour. So there's 3 bands using these cabs on stage, and they were just absolutely monstrous, man. I truly don't know what the speakers that were inside these cabinets, but these Omega cabs had this sound that, like, I don't know, I can't even really describe it, like, without playing it and, you know, just having it right here. So I'll do my very best. It just had this, like, really clanky type of sound to it, and I don't even know if that makes any sense. It just had this really kind of crazy cut, and the speakers were just so gnarly sounding, and I could, like, really hear myself in a band setting on stage. Usually a lot of things get washed out, and it's just all low end and just, you know, cymbals. That's usually all you can kind of hear if you don't have any sort of in-ears. But for something about these cabs, man, they just really cut through. Matched with my JVM and my Kiesel and or the Vola. It was just a beautiful, beautiful amalgamation of gear. So these speakers from the Omega team, just really, really cool. So thank you so much to the guys in Infurious for letting me use them. And it was a lot of fun to jam on them every single night. And apart from that, I was just using Stringjoy strings and a little bit of Ernie Ball here and there every once in a while. Every time I changed strings, like every 2 or 3 days, I was going back and forth between Stringjoys and Ernie Balls. Yeah, I mean, I love both of those brands. I love Stringjoys especially. They're super awesome and super kind to me. And then I was just using the tried and true JP Jazz 3s, man, that I've been using exclusively for the last, like, 3 years predominantly. But yeah, that was pretty much it. Just a very stripped down rig, and man, it was a lot of fun, dude. I had one setting just on, you know, 100% all the time. Just gain on 10, you know what I mean? No mid slayer. Not literally, but you know what I mean? Like, it was just one setting. I didn't have to do any sort of tap dancing. It was just on all the time, wide open. And that was kind of fun. So I could just focus on playing and performing. So all that encompassing, man, yeah, that was the rig that I was using for this last little spring tour that I was on. With that being said, everybody, I'm going to get out of here. Y'all stay safe, stay healthy, and stay metal. I'll see you guys next time. Later.